modern day liberty isn't quite as clear cut as you're owned by another person. So we need some metrics to figure out where we are. How strong are we as free men? So that's why I created the levels of liberty. This framework is designed to give you an idea of where you are currently and a path to follow to become more free step by step. All right, we have to start at level 0. This is the NPC. NPC, in case you don't know, stands for non-player character. In video games, these are the characters that need to be there, but they have, pre-programmed and very limited roles in the game. So they're like the shopkeepers where your character buys supplies, or the characters in that side mission, like some damsel in distress who's been just robbed by bandits when your character, has to go hunt them down for tokens or whatever experience points. The point is, they don't really have minds of their own. In real life, these are the people who are fed their scripts by the media. It doesn't matter how ridiculous or obviously hypocritical it is from the last thing they claim to believe. Their minds are completely captured. Unfortunately, this is at least 80% of the population. So right, left, libertarian, socialist, the vast majority of people are just following a script. If you want to use the Matrix analogy, these are the blue-pilled, I support the current thing people. They can believe that riots that burn down cities are peaceful and speech they disagree with is violence, right? They can believe that Trump is the best president of our lifetime because, he didn't start any new wars. And at the same time, they can support genocide in Yemen and giving Israel billions of dollars in weapons because, Muslim population bad and scary. Whatever. It would be great if we could wake these people up. But for many, if not most of them, you just can't. It's a waste of time to try. And the truth is, you and I don't need them to change. You just have to understand their programming. Because their programming, the scripts they've been fed, makes them predictable. And anybody who's predictable isn't really a threat to you. So that's the first level, or 0 level of liberty. Now let's get into the levels of liberty that actually matter. So starting with level 1, I call this the conscious cog. By that, I mean people at a level 1 are still a cog in the machine, but they're aware of what could be, essentially. So if you're at level 1, you understand what freedom could look like, even if it's only theoretical to you. In this stage, you know that most, if not all, of the systems and institutions, they're in place not to serve you, but to feed off of you. So here's the problem for this level. For whatever reason, your income, security, and network aren't quite strong enough for you to break out. Usually this is because you have a corporate job or a government job, even worse. It has nice benefits. It has health insurance. It has some type of retirement plan that, just stick in there for the 30 years and, you'll have a semi-comfortable retirement. Now, chances are, if you're aware of what freedom could look like, this is a fairly miserable place to be. But a lot of people stay here. They think, it's riskier to quit and try to chase something new. And honestly, most people they've surrounded themselves with reinforce that idea to one level or another. Maybe not explicitly, but people in this situation know for a fact that they'd lose friends and their family would think, they were nuts if they quit their job and tried to actually gain financial independence in their life. For people at level 1 who want to get out, there are 2 major steps. The first is to, start learning what I call a mobile money skill. That's a skill that you can take with you pretty much to any area of the country, and within a week or so, have money coming in the door. Copywriting is a great skill for this, but so is graphic design, programming, media buying, development. Almost anything technical that can be done with an internet connection is a mobile money skill. But any skill that's in demand can be a mobile money skill, like plumbers, electricians, mechanics. Most of the trades are mobile. They're needed everywhere in the country. And actually, all of those skills can be leveraged into multi-6-figure incomes if you add a couple of complementary skills to the main technical one. And we'll get into some episodes on that. The other thing folks stuck at this level should start doing immediately is upgrading their network. I've always kind of hated the slogan, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. But there's no doubt that if you're at level 1 and everyone you talk to on a day-to-day basis is an NPC, blue-pilled, or whatever you want to call them, someone at level 0 who thinks your values are dumb and destructive on top of that. Well, if that's who you're surrounded with, you're going to average out closer to a level 0 than a level 2. On the other hand, if you start connecting with people who share your beliefs in liberty, and they're also looking to become more free and independent in their own life, the expectation on you is that you're going to start leveling up. And that makes things like developing a mobile money skill and thinking about relocating and taking care of your own security normal and natural. Here's the thing. If you're already at level 1, you can never happily or fully go back to level 0. And that's not just because you'll always have that, nagging longing for freedom, which is definitely a possibility. But the real reason is, once you've figured out how many people in the ruling class are straight up lying about pretty much everything, it's impossible to trust those same people again. So even though it's painful and it's going to take work to get to the next level, it's going to be more painful for you to not try. You can lie to anybody except yourself, right? People lying to themselves is it's what leads to depression, alcoholism, drug abuse, all of that bad stuff. That's why level 1 is actually the most painful place to be. It's not somewhere you can be comfortable at just hanging out forever. It's a transitory phase, essentially. You have the desire for freedom, and you either go for it or you accept that you're always going to be a cog in the machine, and that machine hates you, and you process that however you can. The good news is, if you make the decision to actually chase freedom, the freedom you want, you can get to that next level pretty quickly. So level 2 is what I call the rebel. This level is the real beginning of a free life. At this point, you have a mobile money skill that you can take to, maybe not anywhere in the world, but to a bunch of different places in the world and earn yourself a living. So that means you got your main income to be as much work from home or work from anywhere as you can. And you have at least the potential to take on more remote work as a side hustle, or you can split your time between, more than one main income source. So you're not tied down to any one place, and you're not worried about paying your essential bills. So you're beyond the level where you need to be worried about, homelessness or hunger. But to just pick up and leave, to cut everything in your current life off, would still have a very noticeable impact on your standard of living. You're less worried about, speaking your mind because you have at least some part of your network that agrees and aligns with you. But at the same time, you still have enough connections and dependence on the machine that you need to exercise some caution. I call it the rebel phase because you're capable of fighting back, but you're still behind enemy lines. So this is the phase where you really have to start taking your online security and privacy more seriously. I know this might sound melodramatic, but at this level, you don't exactly have a target painted on your back by the machine, but you're definitely in the category of people that they'd like to shut up and sit down. So backing up your digital data, becoming less dependent on, easily manipulated and controlled tools like the main social media and email platforms, and generally being more digitally resilient becomes more important at this phase. Luckily, at this level, you have a few liberty-oriented friends who have your back. You've built out that network a little bit. And if you're on the right track, it's just a matter of time until you get to level 3. And that's what I call the liberated. This is the first true taste of what it feels like to be disconnected from the machine. At this level, you have a strong network of liberty-minded friends and connections and business partners. That may only be 3 or 4 or 5 people, but they're the exact right people. And you can get introduced to someone who can help you in any situation, really, that you need. So on the security front here, at level 3, you're pretty well taken care of. You have basic self-defense and home protection locked down, and you're very comfortable becoming anonymous online when you want to be. And then having your visible online identity fairly well under control as well. So for wealth, your income is fully mobile. You have more than one secure source of money coming in, and you have enough saved that you could probably last 6, 12, 18 months if you suddenly lost all of your income. On top of that, the wealth you do have is secure and diversified. So as far as the awareness, you have a solid grasp of history, philosophy, current events, and you have an eye on the government and the ruling class actions. So you can preemptively avoid most of the consequences of their policies and actions. So at this level, you're not worried about getting fired or canceled because you make enough money to just pick up and leave if things get untenable. So from there, there's only one more level to go, and that is level 4, which is what I call the sovereign. This is as free as you can get in this world. At this level, you're fully financially and location independent. That means if you never earned another dollar in your life, it wouldn't matter to you. You work because it gives you purpose and meaning, not because you need to keep earning money to, live or to maintain your lifestyle. So your personal and digital security at this level are pretty well locked down, barring some extraordinary circumstance. You have a large network of rebels and liberated and some other folks at the sovereign level who have your back no matter what. You're also as close as possible to being ungovernable, unbreakable, uncancelable. So that's the level all of us want to be at, I think. But wherever you are, it's possible to move up. And remember, you don't have to eat the whole elephant at once. You become more free one step at a time. Hey, if you thought that video was good, please click the like button and don't forget to subscribe. It really helps me out. Thanks.